Nothing's happening.
Why?
Okay, I give in. The header didn't go. So here we are. So you had a black screen there, but I'm here and we're live again. It's the 23rd of October, and that's a Monday. We all suffered Monday-itis today. Had an interesting day in the office talking to people and catching up on things and getting all the gossip of what's happening around town and on the Marina. We are replacing, Marco replaced all the banners that blew away and got disintegrated in the big winds. And Marco on Translated 9 is actually moving the boat tomorrow to put a brand new mast in the boat. They've had a few issues with that mast, so they've got a major change. We've approved everything, so they're all legal for a mast change that's going to happen over the next few days. And boats are drying out and little work jobs going on, so a lot of activity down there, and all is good. We're gearing up now to our little events that we got happening starting at the end of this week. And then for another week, and it's funny, we've always got this caveat on everything that we're planning all these events, but it's subject to us not being out there to welcome some of the boats that will still be coming in right up until start day. So it's going to be kind of interesting. The other interesting thing is we bought a duck tonight for dinner, and it cost $12, €12 for a big roast duck. So if you're watching, Jane, bad luck. That would have cost about €35 in China. And food here is quite interesting. It's good. There's all good stuff. Everything's here, and it's cheaper than Europe. So not a bad place to hang out. Anyway, not a lot of news to tell you. Sorry about last night, but I could see it wasn't going to happen. It was Sunday night and everything, so I decided before I got to the moment we would just give it a go and say sorry, see you tomorrow night, which is now. So we'll go straight over to the tracker and see what's happening. I haven't done much at all on this today because I've been pretty busy, but it's pretty clear just looking at that Outlaw is still looking good as the potential first boat to come in. It's a real head-off between the Spirit of Helsinki and Explorer is now officially last. That's right, Godspeed has overtaken Explorer, and yep, it's a good story, that one. Anyway, yeah, no comment. But she's officially last now. So let's get into this and we'll see what we've got happening for Godspeed and Explorer. I wonder if we get them on the same page here. No, not unless maybe just not quite. Anyway, I'll come back down one. Okay, now we've got them both. So Godspeed, you can see for the first time in some ways we're starting to see a traditional South Atlantic high, but this one is actually quite high, like high up in terms of latitude. There's the grids. This is 30, so the center of this high is right up there. And that's interesting because behind it, you've got this mishmash, which will form up into a high. That'll all form up, and you can see here, going along this way and that way, there's the basis of your high. It's distorted. And then you've got another high right here, which is coming around there. So they're the two influencing factors at the moment. Down the bottom here, our favorite latitude, 40 degrees south, where they all should be. Beautiful westerly. So if you got down there, you could zip along here and then just come straight up Cape Town. Anyway, that's not what's happening. So Godspeed currently doing 6.5 knots with 1,591 nautical miles to go to the finish. So still going to take them a while. That's another 10 days or so, I reckon. And Explorer is doing 1.8 knots, and it's got 1,603 nautical miles to go. So it's about 5 miles behind Godspeed. So, yep, claim to fame. And they're going to be slow for a while there. You can see what's going to happen. Evrika got on the move again at last. So conditions have changed a lot for Evrika in the last 24 hours. Oh, no, it was 2 days ago. That's why. Because they were running along the edge of this center of the high, which is distorted, but they're sailing still. So that's good. 5.5 knots, maybe 117 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So that's pretty good for them. Galliana still rocketing along, 7.4 knots. They'd be happy with that. And to give you some perspective here on the size, Explorer is about 500 miles behind Galliana. And if you say Sterner, she's about 720 miles behind Sterner. So yeah, that's quite a chunk to catch up. Anyway, I can keep walking through on this because there's the front fleet's gone, so we've only got the tail enders and the middle fleet. White Shadow, 6.3 knots, 611 nautical miles to go. Not much in that. They'll cover that pretty quick. And Neptune, 6.2 knots with 495 to go. They're all bunched pretty close together. Triana, 8.5 knots. They never cease to amaze me with their boat speed. They can't have their engine running. They would have run out of fuel by now. So they're really driving hard. They're hammering it every time I look at them. And 512 nautical miles to go to the finish. L'Esprit de Keep is, geez, did I get that right then? L'Esprit de Keep, I think I did. Anyway, 8.6 knots, which is very impressive. They've got everything up going for it. They can smell the restaurants in Cape Town, no doubt. Distance to go, 346 miles. And then Outlaw, 293 miles. So just under 300 versus 300 and something. And you would think that L'Esprit de Keep is going to be in before them, and that could be the case, but we'll look at the weather and then see on a decision after that. I think we can probably scale this weather all the way through now and just walk it through slowly and speak about each individual boat as we get moving. So I'm pushing this forward hour by hour. The interesting one for Outlaw is they were on the easterly corner of this high, and the breeze is still pretty good because it's sort of coming from the southwest. And if that's the case, they'll be able to keep going on one tack heading for Cape Town. That's what they're hoping for. And right there, it's looking pretty ordinary. For L'Esprit de Keep and Triana, come Neptune and White Shadow, looks like it's softening off. And this is just as we start pushing it through 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. You can see this is a beautiful thing for Outlaw. She'll be down here and still taking it from the southwest and generally southwest and managing to hold on port tack right the way through here. L'Esprit de Keep is getting lighter. Neptune's getting lighter. It's kind of interesting because these guys are going downwind, but for some reason they're headed up here. I've got no idea why they're holding that course. I wonder what the currents are doing. Well, let's have a look at the currents. Nope, nothing spectacular there. I can't work out what they're doing. Waves, there should only be a few meters. Yeah, that's a couple of meters. So pleasant sailing, that's for sure. But why are they all, like Esprit de Keep is down here, heading up in northeast. Triana's heading northeast. Neptune's heading northeast. Why are they doing that? I have no idea. Cape Town's over here to the east. You'd think at the least they would be heading east. That's not poetry, by the way. And at best, if it was me, I'd be holding my own down here, like I wouldn't even, you can see if we blow this up, oops, pressed the wrong thing. They're all the movies, by the way. You can see I've got no idea why they're heading up there and wasting their bloody easting. They're wasting their south. But anyway, as it turns out, forecast, you'll see it's not going to be southeast. It's all looking pretty good, but it's still strange. Why head up there? Why aren't they just going straight for Cape Town now? And I can't give you the answer on that. Anyway, we'll keep moving it forward. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, so there's 12 hours away. And you can see here, this is where things get interesting because the Spirit of Keep starting to absolutely run out of breeze and maybe slow down. So this is by tomorrow morning. They're probably going to slow down. Same with Triana, same with Neptune. But Outlaw, on the other hand, has got a direct headwind, but at least they'll still be moving and they'll sail this very well. It's calm seas. That's probably 10 to 15 knots in here, if this is correct. And so they'll be tacking 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, but at least their VMG, their vector made good. If they're tacking at 6 knots, they're probably making 4 knots to the mark, which may then actually be faster than the Spirit of Keep. And they only have 300 miles to go. So after 24 hours, they've probably gone 150 miles or 130 miles. So that means then they've only got about 140 to go. So there's still a very realistic opportunity for Outlaw to continue and beat the Spirit of Keep in, which is very impressive indeed. There was a confusing thing here. They're fifth in line honours, coming fifth in line honours, sixth in IRC and second in adventure class. Now, am I missing something here? Because they're top of the billing adventure class, and the next closest boat is the Spirit of Keep. They should be showing first in adventure class. So This is Triana is showing first. Oh, it must be IRC. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm giving myself another lesson. I haven't spoken about this for a long time. So that's under IRC, and it's yeah. So that's easy to see. Anyway, so that's one day into it, and then we keep going for day 2. So we're just coming midnight tomorrow night. The wind's picking up for Outlaw, and it's completely dug into Neptune, the Spirit of Keep, and White Shadow. They are now getting trapped by the centre of the South Atlantic High, and you can see it here. It's formed up a little bit more, or it hasn't formed up, but it's formed a trough, a blocking trough of no wind, and they may well be sitting in that by the second day. So, but again, Outlaw, whilst it's headwinds, at least they got wind, and so that may work in their favour. Let's see how long it stays there. Yeah, you can see that trough going right over the top of them and extending in front of them. So any gains they make, they may be trapped in it. And I still cannot work out why they're heading up here. Anyway, maybe it's just me. Maybe other people are thinking the same. So there we go through. That's the 25th. So there's 2 days. The wind's picking up, but I reckon 2 days from now, Outlaw may well be in or getting very close or just popping the last little bit. But I think she'll still be ahead of the Spirit of Quip, and I think she'll be in sometime on Wednesday. So my prediction for Outlaw suggests Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 150, late Wednesday, early Thursday. And the Spirit of Kip, it depends on a few factors which make it very hard to call. But 340, so that's 1, 2. So Tuesday night, Wednesday night, yeah, maybe sometime on Thursday as well. Still neck and neck. Okay, so that's the reality there. Generally, though, for the middle of the fleet, everyone's getting breeze. Okay, so Evrika for the next couple of days coming down. These guys, they may park. They'd be better off coming down here and then go boop like that because it's trapped there. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens when it's paying out. Galliana, if he holds true, he should come on that latitude, which means they'll have breeze. And if we keep it going, because you'll see, so if Rika's fine, you'll see it gets really horrific for Explorer at the end. It's just going to go in a really bad way, I can see. So Explorer, by this, we're on the 27th, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 days ahead. She'll be down here somewhere. That's looking good. Most of these other boats will be in by then. They'll be pretty far down the track. But when she's getting up around about to head into the final call, is at the moment that's on the 28th, so still looking okay. That's 5 days. Let's make a prediction on Explorer. I'm just interested in that myself. 5 days, 5 to 5. No, it'd be about 700 miles, maybe. Yeah, somewhere about there. So Explorer is going to be about there, and it's starting to come in on the nose. So we'll just hit that. Imagine that. Explorer is going to be on top of the sterner name. And then, poor guys, it's going to just roll around because they're on top of this high pressure system here, and they're going to get like many days of headwinds, boom, boom, all the way into the last. Unless they get way south. If they get way south down here, they might have a chance and go boom. Otherwise, they'll be coming along here, and it's like a nightmare. So I doubt whether they're going to get there by the 5th. But you can see now when that happens, look at that. It's just boring in here. All these boats would be trapped, but they'll be in by then. That's the 30th. That's a week. All of these guys should be in by then. And so they won't be affected. But there's a classic demonstration of why you've got to get down, run along the 40th parallel. And then when you get here, no matter what the wind's doing, you just go straight up. It's on the beam and you're in. Anyway, let's just have a look at the leaderboard on IRC and see if there's any startling developments here. So translated 9, Spirit of Helsinki, Maiden, Penduic. So everything's still sitting as per normal at the moment. And Triana and Outlaw. So Triana's now trumped Outlaw a little bit, but she's got 32 hours. So there's only 50 days. Yeah, there's still 17, 18 hours in it, but that'll be caught up by the time they cross the finish line and get their compensation, their time compensation. Sterner and Explorer, Triana and Outlaw. No, there's no changes going to take place there. we thought, a funny story for today, but anyway, I'll keep that in a minute. I'll tell you the funny story in a minute. The Spirit Equip, Neptune. Yeah. Okay. So there's no real startling discoveries there. So that's really about it for this tracker session. And I'll just come back now and see if there's some comments there, and I'll tell you my funny story. This is very funny. Okay, so the funny story for today was that we're checking all the satellite comms for all of the entrants to see that everything's in order, and we discovered, unbeknown to us, that Spirit of Helsinki had made an unauthorized telephone call. And it was like, whoa, extremely confidential. Run around the office with it. Holy dooly. If that's the case, it's a 24-hour time penalty. And with a 24-hour time penalty, that means Penduit would now take line on us, and Spirit of Helsinki would drop back to second place and all this sort of stuff. So this is the first thing. And so, right, this is our immediate reaction. Oh, jeepers. So then I send a message to Juicy, the skipper of the boat, and say, Juicy, listen, we just checked your satellite file. We have a forensic analysis of all the accounts and blah, blah, blah. And we noticed on da-da-da-da-da, you made an unauthorized satellite phone call. Is there anything you'd like to say? And he immediately came back and said, yep, sure did. We were under threat of a pirate attack, and we were seriously concerned. So we turned all of our electronics off, the nav lights, radar was shut down, AIS, all that sort of stuff. And we immediately put a call into the Finnish Rescue Coordination Centre and advised them of what's going on, but we couldn't get the crew. So we decided to ring the Finnish Coast Guard and blah, 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 and get that cranked up. And then they looked through all their systems and they found the suspicious boat and said, oh, it's not a pirate incident. So they said, oh, great. And that was the story. It was really quite funny because they never told anything about it to us, but it's all logged in their ship's log. They said, look, all the data's in the log. You'll see it when we hand over the logs, because they were supposed to give us the logs yesterday, but everyone's busy and stuff. So, and it was signed off by the skipper and the mate. So it's all legitimate. It's just that we didn't know anything about it. And that would have been a good story to tell. Hey, another pirate scare, but they probably didn't talk about it because it was all a bit, or maybe we thought it was and it wasn't, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that was today's funny story. So just quickly checking the comments here. Evening, Diamond Nation Village, Southampton. Oh, g'day, Neil. Caught the OGR bug when we saw the fleet preparing. Good on you. You can't get away with it. Don't take antibiotics. Don't do anything. Just put up with it. So it's not a bad bug. G'day, John. Hope everything well. John Pinto. Is there a boat that got a dispensation to bring a new sail on board in Cape Town without penalty? Well, that's a whole subject as well. We had a big think about this today. This is like a question and answer session, but I'm about to reveal something new that you wouldn't have heard about. There is a rule, very simple rule, that says you cannot take the sails off the boat, okay? And the ethos of that is quite simple. And by example, in the 93, not the 93 and not the 71 Whitbread, but in the 70, not the 73 Whitbread, but in the 77 Whitbread, when Flyer was turned up, that's Connie Van Richthofen's Flyer, he used to go through sails like as if you were playing a deck of cards, just chung, chung, chung. And with Flyer 2, when he was sailing Flyer 2, which won the next Whitbread in 81, he'd sail with 25 sails, and the word was he would replace like a half to 2/3 of them every leg, to make sure they're the right shape, and any damage, just put new sails on. So we wanted to get away with that. So we put sail restrictions on the boat. Your catch rig, you can only have a maximum of 13 sails, and you're never allowed to take the sails off the boat. And that's not a big deal, because it's like, even though it's not the same as the Whitbread, it's like having a boat prepared and ready to go for a non-stop race around the world, like the Vendée Globe or whatever, So you just build good, solid sails. And that didn't really sink into some entrants, because now they've turned up in Cape Town and there's things going wrong with the sails. Now, the entrants are really good about it. They say, oh, jeepers, we're really desperate to get this off because you can't get the big sewing machines onto the boat to do the repairs. And so we've decided, to save the hassle and keep them all safe, that they can actually now take their sails off the boat for sail repairs under a dispensation. They have to give us a full proposal of what sail they're going to take off the boat, what they're going to do to the sail, just restitch it, do whatever. We're allowing them to completely strengthen the sails if they want to, put extra anti-chafe on, do whatever they want. And it's at this stage, it's a one-off. It's only in Cape Town. So they won't be able to do it again in Auckland. They won't be able to do it again in Punta. And so we're warning them. We're telling them, look, you didn't get it last time. Why not think about the fact that your sails have to sail all the way around the world without seeing a sailmaker and sail your boat accordingly? And I think now that few people are breathing easy and are very happy to have that new situation. And but yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Maiden unfortunately had a warranty issue with their sales. There was some problems there that probably shouldn't have been there, but that's another whole subject. So anyway, there's that was the big change in the sales. Now there is possibly one boat that I know of that's bringing on a new sail, and they will wear this. They will be penalised. That new sail going on board will cost them 24-hour time penalty. And anyway, we'll wait and see how it goes. So, g'day, Joe. But you are not allowed to change a sail because the mast is more safety critical, I suppose. Yeah, I mean the sails, as I said, that's the ethos of the sail making routine. It's to save money, sail safe. If you've only got one set of sails, limited sails, and you can't take them off the boat, the idea is it's meant to slow the boats down. So that's not the reason they're all running late into Cape Town, but it's to make them sail sensibly and not get the red haze and go crazy and all that sort of stuff. So they, and some of the sailors were saying, oh, but this is not so good, And I said, well, look, think about it. Treat it as a non-stop race, and so that's what we're doing. Anyway, a mast is different. You can do any work you want on the boat in port. So once you get here, except for sails, and I'll explain that. So once you get here, if you have a problem with the rudder or the rigging or the hatches or the deck gear or the engine or anything, you can do whatever you want. Then we check it again, give it another safety inspection, you might say, for something that's a major, and then we give them another green card and they're away. So they knew they had a problem. We discussed it, and they came and checked with us in Southampton at the start and said, hey, Don, look, this is all confidential at the moment, but we think we've got a problem with the mast. They'd already sailed back and forwards across the Atlantic, and they weren't happy with what they had. So we looked at all that, and we gave them permission to order a new mast here in Cape Town, and it's being fitted tomorrow. So that's what's happening there. Warren, Don, I see we will see you guys this weekend. Oh, cool. Okay, we'll be there. Probably boats coming in. Who knows? Evening from Ireland. Marie on Maiden after the. How's Marie? Yeah, Marie's okay. We had a long chat today about a few things, and she seems quite calm and collected, actually. Very pleasant. And I asked her about her leg. She said, it's okay. So, but she's a tough nut. Probably hurts, but anyway, I don't know. But no, she's it's not phasing her. It's not going to slow her up or anything like that. She's seems to be pretty good. Galliana's tracker does not seem to update, and actually, you're right. I didn't even check on that because she wasn't updating at 4:00, but I think she's updating now. I didn't actually check that. I'm going to go back and have a look. I think. Can I get to that there now? Yes, I can. No, that's interesting. 00 UTC. You're right. So when was the last one? 400. Yeah, no, that's a problem there. But I spoke to Tapio tonight, so I'll get on to Yellow Brick and we'll see what's going on there. Now I come back here. Okay, yeah, so thanks for reminding me on that. We got a call from their team early in the day. We're not concerned. When something like that happens, we say if there's no news, it's not bad news. It's good news. They've got so many ways to talk to us. But Tapio did ring today on another separate issue, and he's happy. He's ticking along fine. But we will get onto that and see what's going on. Kathleen checking in from Waveland, Mississippi. Ted, my money's on Outlaw. Yeah, I think they're in first next. Greetings from Malmo. Position of Gallianas not be. Yep, you're right. Hi, Don. Question about Gallianas with secure trackers doesn't work. Yep. With their tracker, and how's it down? Could be any number of reasons, and we'll find out. But they have a backup tracker. They've got 2 backup trackers on board, so there's 3. And as I say, we're not too concerned there. But we've been so busy. I was tipped off very early this morning, and I completely forgot to check it out. So sorry about that. It seems the tracker position get. Yep, you're right. When I checked, yep, you're right. I won't say, Don, see you tomorrow. Whew. Thank you, Terence, for not reminding me that Galliana's tracker's down. Is Outlaw well aware of how tight their race is with the Spirit of Creek? I'm not sure. I haven't been doing the satellite chats with the boats Georgie and Jack have been doing that, and maybe if they're chatting, but probably not. I haven't heard anything that they're chatting together, so we'll see. Roughly what position were they with the Pirate Scout? I have no idea, but it was on the 6th. I could find out because I can work out the time of the call, but I think it was the 6th. I'm not sure though. I'd have to double check, so I can't tell you. Will your fleet overlap with the crew first arrivals? Maybe. They left yesterday on their way to Cape Town. And if it does, they'll be parked in a different marina. And then after the start on the 5th, any of our hangover boats go over to the other marina, and then Clipper comes in. So I'm sure they'll be having a good race. But yeah, they're supposed to be arriving. They can manage their boats pretty well. They're all the same size boats, so they all come in pretty much the same rate. And they've got a few other things they do to keep the fleet together. So they're pretty confident about arriving, on the 6th maybe, when we're gone on the 5th. So that's it. Okay, enough is enough, and we'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully, if all goes well. So thanks for following, and I'll press that button there, and that pops up, and I'm